Okay, you're looking at 3 of the 4 NASCAR Sprint Cup drivers that will be competing for the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship a week from today at Homestead Miami Speedway. And congratulations to each and every one of you. Tremendous effort not only today but throughout the season. Much well-deserved. Denny Hamlin joins us. He's the driver of the number 11 FedEx Ground Toyota over at Joe Gibbs Racing. And Joey Logano joins us. He's the driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford for Team Penske. And Ryan Newman joins us. He's the driver of the number 31 Cat Mining Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Denny, I'm going to start with you. You were the pole sitter for this race today. You had some issues there early in the race. I believe you broke a valve stem on the tire, got behind, you had to claw, you had to scratch, you had to do everything you could to get back up in there. Just talk about your run here today.
Yeah, I mean, it was eventful for sure, but there never was any panic, and we just kept working on it and getting our car better. And probably our saving grace is that we definitely didn't have that strong of a car today, but we did have a strong car on restarts, and that kind of allowed us to be aggressive and pick up a handful of spots, and then the caution would come out. We'd pit, get a little bit better tires than the guys that stayed out, make up a few more spots, and next thing you know, we ended up finishing in the top 5 somehow, some way. No clue how it happened. So it was a battle. It says something that we were able to come back from a lap down twice, and this track is just so hard to pass on that we were able to get the lucky dogs at the right time and capitalized.
Joey Logano. Joey, you had some issues there on pit road. I believe you took off and you had a fuel tank still attached to your car and got penalized. You had to come back in for a stop and go. You got back in the field. I believe you were a lap down, if I'm not mistaken, at one time. And how in the world did you get back up in there to be able to now race for the championship at Homestead Miami?
I think Denny and I had the exact same day out there. Both of us had a little issue on pit road, and got stuck back there, went down a lap, we recovered, and we finished 5th and 6th. So, we were able to keep our cool throughout the day. I think that was important. We were able to get the lucky dog, and then got some damage avoiding the 18s crash. Was able to fix that and recover again to get ourselves back in. So definitely a drama-filled day for sure. Not what we wanted. We were hoping for just a normal, uneventful day to just get a nice top 10 is all we needed, and which we ended up doing. But it was definitely eventful along the way. So proud of my team, proud of everyone to get us to this point, and we'll have some fun next week. Go for a championship.
Thank you, Joey. And Ryan Newman, your first year over at Richard Childress Racing. You've been there each and every week, and you waited there until the very end to get yourself into the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship. What was your thought process throughout the day, and how fast was your heart beating that last restart and the last few laps there?
And we were on some of the oldest tires, I think, there, excuse me, towards the end. And I knew at one point there that both Joey and Danny were struggling a little bit when they were getting their laps back. But you never know how good their cars are, and you never know when the strategy is going to turn on you. And it did exactly that. Those guys took 2 tires, and we took 4. They were better on restarts than we were, and we got shuffled back. And next thing we know, we're the odd guy out. So just so proud of these guys, everybody for fighting back. Luke Lambert, everybody at RCR and ACR, this Caterpillar team was they fight hard. There's no doubt about that. I guess the only mistake I made all day was showing these guys what I'll do on the last lap for when everything's on the line. But I think if Kyle Larson was in my shoes, he'd have done the exact same thing. And I mean, I didn't take him out. He still finished the race, albeit. But he I think in a day or two he'll understand if he doesn't now. But I mean, it's hard to rationalize that. But like I said, I did what I had to do and tried to keep it as clean as I possibly could. I don't like racing that way, but there's a lot on the line here, and we'll keep digging.
Take questions now for these 3. Any questions for Ryan, Joey, or Denny? Raise your hand. Lee Spencer has one. Front row. She's coming.
LeeSpencerMotorsport.com. Ryan, can you just kind of describe what was going on there? Because he wasn't the first person, and it wasn't, there were other cases where people were banging you in the closing laps as well. Can you just kind of, describe what it was like in the back?
I mean, everybody raced hard. I didn't see anybody giving anybody anything, and that was, that's what we're supposed to do. There's guys that could have backed off and not stuck it in there 3 wide on a restart or whatever, but everybody raced hard and everybody raced clean. I mean, we got beat around a little bit here and there, and I'm sure we did our own beating around a little bit, but that's part of racing at Phoenix. That's part of the crazy restarts. It's part of the intensity of this chase, and it's racing, man. That's what we're kind of supposed to do.
Next question.
A little disappointed about anybody fighting. Is there anybody fight or not? What happened?
Not this week. Next question. Who has the next question? Jim Utter right here.
Jim Utter, Shaw Observer. This is for Joey and for Denny. It's kind of the same question. During the course of the race, when people follow along from the outside looking in, there were times where probably your fans and others thought their day's done. They're never going to make it back. And then both of you ended up making it, not only finishing well, but advancing. What is it like in the car? How frustrating does it get, or how difficult is it to stay focused on still trying to maintain on getting a good outcome even when it doesn't look so good?
It's very difficult, but if you look at the past years, that's what won championships, and it still does now. It may not win the championship next weekend, but it gets you to that point. And the last couple of weeks, we had a couple of days that we had to be like that, and we were able to recover and get something decent out of it. But just like in the past, you try to minimize the damage, and and to do that, that's very hard. It's something that I know for years I wasn't good at, and was able to kind of learn and figure it out slowly but surely. And you got to have a team behind you that can do that too. It's not just the driver rallying back. That's everyone keeping their heads together and not imploding from the inside.
Go ahead. Denny, you want to take that one?
I don't even know the question.
Can you repeat it?
How difficult is it when looking from the outside, to stay focused?
What he's saying? He's saying, do you follow your tweets in the car to know how good?
Oh. No, I didn't check my Twitter. That's why I try to tell all of you guys a long time ago, you can't deem a favorite and an underdog, because things happen that change throughout the entire day. I mean, these races just don't go green from the start to the end, and the fastest cars are always up front. We didn't have a top 5 car today, but through strategy and things like that, we got up to the top 5. It's no different if this is going to be a one-race take-all championship next week. The fastest car, it's a 50-50 shot that the fastest car of the 4 of us isn't going to win. It's just because of circumstances. Things happen. Today we knock a valve stem off after pitting and coming out third, and so it's just those things happen. It happened to Harvick not too long ago. So it's the unknowns, and so these races just don't they don't give trophies out for who's the favorite and who's got fast cars. You have to execute, and you have to go through the due process of running 300 or 400 miles, and next week's going to be no exception, and it's going to be whoever executes a flawless day is going to be the champion.
Jared on the front row.
Yeah, Jared Turner, FoxSports.com. Got one question for Joey and one for Denny. Question for Joey. Obviously, Joey, you made the chase last year, but you've never been in this kind of late season pressure cooker before. How did you keep your composure today and stay focused on the task at hand, given your kind of lack of experience in this kind of situation?
I don't know. You pretty much, you go, huh? I drink Coca-Cola. Hey, all 3 Coke drivers were right here at in the Final Four. That's three of them, so that's pretty cool.
Odds.
Yeah, odds are decent for a Coke driver to win this thing, but
Share the money?
the
We're
charity
family.
money?
We're
family. Yeah, sure. I'm just a giver, I'm just, but it's charity money. We're giving it away anyway.
Oh,
But
that's right.
anyways,
No, the championship money, by the way.
oh no, I'm keeping that. Sorry.
Oh.
But no, it definitely. I'm trying to remember it. It was kind of the pressure cooker, and it's definitely it's hard to deal with it, but at the same time, we've just done what we've done all year, and there's no point of changing it. And, Todd said to me, he goes, you don't reinvent the wheel at this point. You just polish the wheel a little bit and, just become a little better in every area. And, that's what we've been able to do throughout the last couple of years since we started working together, and it's paying off. So it's been a fun ride so far.
And just for Denny real quick, you've talked several times, Denny, about wanting to get back to Homestead and have that opportunity. Well, you've got the opportunity. So what are your thoughts?
I feel pretty optimistic. I thought we had a great test there. And obviously, no one saw that win coming last year in 2013. We were a lot less competitive at the end of last year, and we popped up and won that race. It's just a track that suits me for some reason. It's wide, tires wear out, and you get to, really, if your car's working well, you can make up positions there. Track position is not crazy critical like it is at this racetrack. So love it, love the opportunity. We're on house money now, so let's go have fun.
Let's go to, I'm told we have a question in the press box, and I'll come back here to Jeff. Go ahead, press box.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. I've actually got one for Denny and one for Ryan. For Denny first, have you ever had an air gun knock a valve stem off before? And was it kind of poetic justice that the pit crew got you 3 extra spots on that last stop, even though 5 cars stayed out?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably the reason that we're in this position anyway. I've been riding their coattails for most of the year. What they do for me on pit road, and obviously law of averages, every now and then that stone's going to hit you, and it hit us at that first pit stop, and luckily it was the first one. If it was later in the day, we were not going to overcome it. Yeah, it's crazy that that mistake is what put us back there, but they made up for it tenfold throughout the entire day with great stops, and so it's great to have them on your side, knowing that you got the fastest pit crew on pit lane going into a one-race shootout. I like my chances.
And for Ryan, from the time that you were told you needed to get one more spot, have you ever driven a car that hard in your life before?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, going back to my quarter midget days and midget and sprint car and silvercon days, we got lots of laps. We've driven hard at other times, but that was everything I had, and then a little bit more. I told these two up here, that's the first time I've actually complimented a racetrack after a repave, because before there was not enough asphalt down there to be able to do that. It was grass.
Anybody else in the press box?
Also questions for Ryan. Wolfgang Munzer, Rennsport Press Agency in Germany. Ryan, at some stage of the race, the gap to the guys in front of you became bigger than shorter. At one point at the race, did you try to conserve fuel, or was it traffic related?
Can you repeat the last part?
Excuse me?
Repeat the last part, Wolfgang, would you please?
Yes. During one part of the race, I think it's somewhere in the middle, the gap to the guys in front of you became bigger, then it was shorter again. I had the impression maybe you tried to conserve fuel or tires.
No, I was never conserving anything. We had a pretty good run there in the middle of the race, and we are actually kind of keeping the guys in check. I never knew that the 11 and the 22 were having their struggles. I saw the 24 and the 20 in front of me, and that was part of the race that I needed to keep in check. The other part was just a bonus at that time, and then everything flip-flopped when we took 4 and they took 2, and we lost some of our track position. We were just never able to get it back, and there was never a point where I was riding, no. One of the only part I think where any of us rode today was when we couldn't see getting into turn 1, and you were better off letting off early than you were driving her down in there.
Let's go back downstairs to Jeff Gluck.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Ryan, they told you just need to get one spot any way you can, basically, and
They left that part out. They just said one spot.
okay. But you ended up doing it any way you could. If you don't do that, can you live with yourself not making that move that you did?
I mean, it's not. I mean, yes, I could live with myself. Would I be happy with myself? No, because you got to give it your all. And that one spot paid off today, but that one spot could have been 3 or 4 spots on a restart in Texas last week. So it's like we're the sum of everything we put into this, and today we were just enough.
Let's go to Seth.
Seth Livingstone, NASCAR News Service. Ryan, again, as that last lap is unfolding at the beginning of the lap, is there such a thing as a plan B? Did you envision it unfolding the way it did, or did you have a thought that you might be able to do something else?
No, I tried to get the best run I could off of turn 2, and I had one of the best runs I had of the race off of turn 2 at that point. And Kyle was right on the 9's rear bumper, and when he went into turn 3, I think he slipped just a little bit, and I just went down to the bottom no matter what. And I figured if I'm going to try this, I'm going to try it and see if it works. And it worked. And I don't know how much of it was racing luck, but the old adage of 8 tires are better than 4 was definitely true today.
Let's go to Nate Ryan, and then we'll go to Tom Jensen, Michael, and then we'll end with Lewis. Go ahead.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. 2 for Ryan. We heard you talk out there about the incident with Larson at Eldora last year. Can you expand on that a little bit?
It was 2 years ago. He used me up multiple restarts and literally just used me up and used me as the wall and a cushion to drive around. And we have fun doing it. Don't get me wrong. But and today was really no retaliation for that. But to me, in my mind, it was the fact that he can't be too mad after the way he raced me in a truck at Eldora 2 years ago. So I mean. I mean, well, I'm stretching it, but I mean, realistically, I mean, like these guys, I overheard these guys saying, "Man, you got to do what you got to do." I mean, and that's really what it's all about. And it's I told you the first thing, I wasn't proud of what I had to do, but I did it the best way that I possibly could.
Secondly, there's been a lot of debate since the format was introduced that a winless driver could win the championship, and that chorus has kind of grown, especially among fans. Now you're the winless driver in the Final Four. Do you care about that? Are you expecting a lot of attention because of that? Does it matter to you? What are your feelings?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it in the end, it really doesn't matter. I think Denny kind of said that you could have a fast car, you could have a consistent car, you could have a good long run car, and you got pretty good chances of having a good day in Homestead. And the fastest car may not win, the best car on a restart may not win. You just never know. I mean, it could come right down to fuel mileage, and we could three of the four of us could be coasted on the last lap. You never know. And we're in this hunt. I'm proud of all my guys, you know, today was a lot of hard work, and in the end, the last lap was fun, but everything before that was pretty stressful.
Who had the next question? Did you have one? We'll go Tom, Al, Chris, Lewis, and we'll end with Michael.
For any of you guys, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Now that you've been through 9 races in this system, would you like to see the same system next year, or does it need to be changed in any way?
Let us get through next weekend first. I mean, from my standpoint, it's the intensity of the sport has gone through the roof. You know, and you can never make everybody happy. And I said from the beginning, if I was these guys that had wins after that first bracket and their wins didn't mean anything anymore, I wouldn't be happy. But I wasn't one of those guys. It's mathematically played to my favor all the way through. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a champion. That just means it's the system is made like that. And can it be manipulated? Absolutely. Can we give more points for wins? Can we give more points for leading laps? Absolutely. Can we give points for qualifying? I said that 10 years ago. But in the end, it is what it is. And we all had an opportunity in Daytona to start our chase for the championship, and now the 4 of us got a chance this coming weekend.
Thank you. Al?
The only people that outcry that the system is bad is when their favorite driver doesn't make it. I mean, the system is fine. It's exciting. Every race is exciting. There's not been one boring race, and every race, like it comes down to somebody on a restart or something. You know, this is the best thing that's happened to the sport in a really long time. Just because your favorite driver don't make it, it could go the other way for them next year. So, let's just leave this thing alone for a while.
Al?
Yeah, this is for Ryan. Al Pierce from Auto Week. So there's no statute of limitations on things that happen.
Oh, I still owe Joey from 2008.
Okay.
2009, whatever it was. I mean,
so the answer is no. as long as
I
you
thought
can,
we were even after that.
as long as you can remember it, it's still fair game.
Remember Bristol?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to start. I'm playing
You
Harvick.
slipped your mind.
I'm playing
Yeah,
Harvick. I'm gonna start the fight.
So you
My
don't
best
just
friends.
you just don't forget at some point in time. Serious question. You just don't forget. You just
I mean,
keep in the back of your mind forever.
Self-policing garage. It all works out.
yeah,
It does.
yeah. I mean, there is no
Now it's
statute of
awkward.
limitations on anything. A driver never forgets. Jimmy Spencer coined the phrase, but really a driver never does forget. And I don't think that me doing what I did, whether it was Kyle Larson or Ambrose or Biffle or whoever was right there right around me, I would have done the same thing. That's just my rationale to justify it in my head.
Let's go to Michael.
This question's for Joe. When Kyle and Clint had their incident and it looked like you tagged, you got the wheel rub with the contact with Danica. Could you feel that in the car? It sounded like the guys on the pit box and your spotter were sort of diagnosing it. How severe was that from your perspective?
Yeah, as I was turning down to miss the 18, the 10 was there, and we banged doors fairly hard, but it didn't knock the toe out or anything like that. So it was just fender rubs. So we just communicated. We had a red flag to talk about it a little bit, which is always nice to kind of calm down and get a game plan for when the pit's open. And all we really need to do is pull some fenders out and keep them from rubbing, and then go racing again.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We're going to go with Chris, and then Drew's going to finish us up.
ChrisMikeHitchens.com. Ryan, it's been 20 years since RCR. Richard Childress, in fact, won a championship with Dale Sr. This will be your first year driving for him. What would that mean to you?
It means a lot to me, regardless of history. For me personally, just to have this opportunity, I know these guys can sit here and say the same thing. I mean, this is a chance for a dream to come true. And correct me if I'm wrong, but of the four of us, nobody's ever won a Cup championship going into this next round. So we'll have a new Sprint Cup Series champion, next weekend. And that's a chance for a dream to come true for one of us and all of us. And just to have a shot at it is amazing. And with respect to RCR and Dale Earnhardt Sr., yeah, I mean, that's, if you're going to follow anybody's footsteps and have some history, that's the man. But I won't strap into the race car thinking of that next Sunday. I'll strap into the race car thinking about what we got to do to get the Caterpillar Chevrolet in victory lane.
Final one right here, Drew.
Drew Lawrence at Sports Illustrated. Just back to the payback thing for all you guys. Is there
Who paid who back?
a ledger? Like, how do you guys
I
keep
still owe
track
Joey.
of this?
Joey owes Denny. Denny still.
No, Joey don't know me.
Should there be like a formal accounting system so everybody can know where everybody stands? Like,
Will you start it? You keep track.
I'm
for
happy
us?
to.
We sometimes get confused and lose track of it. So.
We don't really have a notebook with it all
Yeah.
jotted down.
And the magnification of it changes throughout a race. Like if somebody does you wrong, you're like, man, I really remember now.
Yeah, I think who shows you respect through many races. I mean, a guy cuts you a break here and there. You keep that in your mind, and when he's behind you knocking on your back bumper, then you can let the person go. It changes. I mean, when you have conversations, though, when you have bad blood between people, when you have conversations, you hash it out, things don't linger on as much. Next week, we're not going to be out there trying to settle scores between the four of us. It's going to be, what can we do to make our car faster than the rest of these three guys, and let's do it the right way.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to you three, and we'll see you Wednesday at the Doral in Homestead, Miami.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.